Hey folks, Charlie Sims here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you are having a lovely day. And today we have a speed build of a Christmas cottage I built. Thought it was appropriate. I've done a couple of Christmas builds now. Well, this is the second one. But yeah, I just wanted to do, my last one was a winter log cabin, and I wanted to do something a bit more rustic. Wanted to do a cutesy cottage, and we are in mid nowhere in Windenburg. That's where I decided to create the build, and I think this is a pretty nice lot actually. I think it's suitable for a cottage. I think most of that island in Windenburg is. And yeah, you will notice it is, I am building in winter. We do change that just temporarily for me to do the landscaping, because what I didn't want was, I didn't want you to download this build, play it in Christmas, and then it go to spring and the build just doesn't look great because I was effectively doing the landscaping blind. So that's what we've got here, just avoiding that. So yeah, so this is me. I'm making a platform, a couple of platform steps up to a porch. And this is the start of the house. So the house actually has platforms inside. I make use of platforms in the interior, and it's really cool actually. Unfortunately, so I got most of the floor plan on camera, but not all of it. And I'll just quickly explain what happened. So I'm trying to improve the quality of my content. So I am basically recording this using some higher spec recording software. Well, not really the recording software, it's just the settings is higher, and that's caused the frame rate to change. So the frame rate is 60 frames per second, but my intro to this video is 30 frames per second. Yeah, so basically when I started a project in my editor of choice, which is Lightworks, in case you were wondering, I imported all of my 60 frames per second videos, so the actual speed build, and then I imported my voiceover, and I think I set it to mixed rates, and we basically lost, because it's mixed rates and I guess it goes with the lowest rates, this is actually on 30 frames per second. So I basically need to find an intro that's 60 frames per second, and then I won't lose any content. But I thought it wasn't too much of a big deal that I lost the floor plan. But obviously in the future, I will need to start a project that's 60 frames per second, not mixed rates, so that I don't lose any footage, especially with things like Let's Plays. So I just need to find an intro video that's 60 frames per second. Yeah, and I don't really know what that entails. I'm kind of like learning the video editing process as I go, to be honest. But anyway, back to the build. So as you can see, I am replacing the white suburban looking base game windows with the cats and dogs windows, because I just think that two-tone in brown looks a bit more cottage-like. I mean, maybe not, but I think this is my vain effort to make it look less suburban and more cottage. And then I also use the wallpaper from Get Together, because I believe one of the unique selling points of that pack was the Tudor and cottage architectural build objects, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I thought I would utilise that and just use all the Get Together wallpapers in another attempt to make this look cottage-like. But I'm still not actually sure if it does look like a cottage. I haven't visited a cottage in a while. And I don't live in the country where there are cottages. I live in the suburbs. So I live quite close to Birmingham city centre. So I think I did mention this in previous videos, but I everything all the architecture around me is just terraced houses, so I don't even normally see like sides of houses really. So yeah. Right, so what I'm doing at the moment with the floor plan is I really like this floor plan and how it ends up. So next to these stairs, that little room is a bathroom. Then there's a back room and a kitchen that I do cordon off soon. And then that's to the right with all the windows does end up being a dining room. There we go. So that room that I just cut off was the dining room. And then we use a platform there to make like a corridor. And then I put this wall around this sunken area, and the sunken area is the living room, and it's been cut off. My fault. But yeah, so I think that ends up being really cool. Like, I don't know, I just really liked that floor plan. And yeah, so this is me looking at the landscape in the light of day, and I just remove like a load of grass that I think matches the terrain around me, but it doesn't really. But I didn't know that because it was the winter, so I changed to summer, just temporarily, and then we go back to winter. And I actually think it looks really cute in the spring. But you know, this is a winter cottage build, so we do have Christmas decorations inside and a tree and all that. But if you download this after winter, it should still be a nice house where the landscaping just doesn't look crazy. That's what I didn't want. And yeah, and I also just love doing foliage, so yeah. So yeah, I'm just adding a few hydrangeas and using the bracket keys to make them bigger and smaller, just so the landscaping looks a bit more diverse, and like you know, plants have grown at different angles and sizes and all of that. Things that happen in real life. You know, your plants grow at different speeds. Okay, yeah, so that was just me adding a little patio table. Now I'm adding some outdoor lights. And then soon I use the Realm of Magic terrain paint. And I put a bit of Realm of Magic terrain paint under the table and chairs we put down. And then you will see soon that I use the eraser tool on the faded out bits. So it looks like there's just a bit of cobblestones underneath the patio seating area, which I think is quite nice. And yeah, this is just me doing a walkway up to the patio seated area in the garden around the back. And I really like this base game terrain paint with the grass and the cobbles. Really like it, but the grass is a bit greener than our surrounding area, and I get around that by putting natural oasis grass terrain paint around, and then I fade it out to the edge with the eraser tool so that it blends into the world. In case you're wondering how I got around that. And now we are back in winter. So we are now onto the interior, and it does start looking very red, but we do soon change that because I think it's like a bit too much, because I was thinking red and Christmas, but I don't know, it was just looking a bit gaudy. So I mean, as you can see, there's already there's already too much red, you know. But no, this ends up changing soon into a really nice colour scheme, actually, that I do quite like. It ends up changing into blue and orange, which is interesting. for me. Because, yeah, I think, have I done a blue and orange living room? I mean, probably, but I don't know. You know, when you build so much, you just kind of forget. So, yeah, this is the sunken living room I was talking about, and I actually really like this. Yeah, I think it's really cool with that corridor around the back that leads to the dining room and the kitchen. And you're right by the stairs and it's all open plan, and maybe that's a bit weird in a cottage, but it's fine. And this wallpaper that I get out now from City Living, this kind of like old looking, a bit haggard wallpaper, is the wallpaper that I use mostly throughout, which I quite like. And this is the bit where I use the blue, and I think that looks so much more calming. Like that red, nah. But I think that's way better. Really like that. Add a little coffee table, and then we're done with that. And then just onto some miscellaneous decorations on the way in. So we get a couple of coat racks, a shoe rack, and then some end tables, and an umbrella rack, of course. And yeah, now I just get a little nifty knitting wall decal. And I am thinking that this is an older couple. I don't really know why I think an older couple live here. I think just because of how dated some of the things look. But there's no like rocking chairs or anything, or like stereotypical. So I guess, you know, any Sims can live here really. It does end up being 2-bedroom miraculously, because the upstairs is actually really small. So 2 small bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, so 1 upstairs and 1 downstairs, and there's a kids' room. So when I was thinking this, I was initially thinking grandparents and like a grandson or daughter, but it can be for younger, you know, parents, not grandparents. And here I'm just decorating the corridor with some miscellaneous things. And now we are on to the dining room. And yeah, I really like this room. I end up putting crackers down. It's set for Christmas, basically, without being the long Christmas table, unfortunately, because we don't have that much room. And there I just added some curtains and an overhead light. And now I'm just thinking about holly, but then I think maybe I think I end up putting a log centerpiece down. So I place these crackers, and then I end up placing the log centerpiece. There it is. And I think that looks really nice. And now we're on to the downstairs bathroom. And this has, yeah, a shower, a toilet and a sink. And then I think upstairs has a bath shower combo. Yes, it does. And I think the colour scheme for this is... Okay, well, never mind. I didn't guess it before I was showing it. But yeah, so I guess the orange and blue theme a little bit is carried through to the bathroom. It's actually quite a nice bathroom. And now we are on to the kitchen. And sorry you didn't see me place the counters. This will be an issue with the frame rate again that I will be fixing in my next video. But progress, not perfection. So this is my progress, but we will perfect it soon, I hope. Yeah, just really want to export it at 1080 with like no problems, so that it's good quality. Although, I mean, the quality, I'm pretty happy with the quality at 720. So here I am just working out this little mudroom at the back. So yeah, this goes out onto the backyard. So I thought I'd make it like a kind of utility room. So I just thought I will place the washing machine and the dryer there. And now I'm just sorting out a little informal seating area in the kitchen. And then I'm just putting some pictures from Tiny Living down. some, I mean, quite modern artwork. Not everything is totally dated here. And then I think we could totally fit a bar. So I just fit a bar. And then, I don't know, whenever I do like old people's houses, I just always put that picture from My First Pet stuff in. I actually really like that picture. I mean, honestly, like, don't get it because you won't use half the stuff, but there's some things in that pack that are really nice. But I think that's the same with like all packs, you know, like there's always like one or two items that you will use all the time, and the rest of the pack is basically just you just won't tend to use. That sounded negative. You know what I do use? I do use laundry a lot when I play. I will say that. Do use laundry a lot. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I use the hamsters from My First Pet stuff, but I always use that painting. And then I'm sure there's something else I always use from My First Pet stuff. Yeah, so obviously they've got a grandkid or a kid, so I kind of put that decorative plant that I think the kids did at school and brought home, kind of like a Mother's Day plant thing. And then I also thought maybe that's the communal computer, so it's a really old computer, and that's what I put in the like utility room. And then I'm sorry, I'm still talking to the I'm still talking about the utility room while we've moved on, but I also put down that heater from Snowy Escape because, oh my God, I just love that thing. Because that room, that utility room we just saw, does look really cold, like it's right by, it's right by the back door. So I think that would be really drafty. This is just me sorting out the parents/grandparents room. And yeah, just standard room. Things really pretty small room. I actually placed the bedrooms off camera just to actually work out if I could fit 2 bedrooms in, and I was super happy that I could, because I just love doing kids rooms. It's like my favourite thing. Yeah, I just love kids rooms. So yeah, what did we put in this room? Yeah, I put a little toy box in, and then I use the OMSP shelf, which is a mod, and I use that shelf to just clutter up the ottoman there with some toys and a diary that he or she owns. Little bear, Care Bear looking thing. And then yeah, I think that's really quite realistic. And now, I just find that little snowman, so I'll put that outside as like some outdoor lighting. And then I've got a football lamp and a clock. Oh, and then I like what I do here. And the frame rate's cut it off. Okay, we'll see it in the screenshots. But I do put 2 action figures on top of that lunchbox, and I think that looks really cute. But it doesn't matter because I ruined it. I'm so sorry. And I've just been yabbering, and we're actually almost onto the screenshots. We do this corridor, and then we are onto the screenshots. So I'd just like to say Merry Christmas, and thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you would like to see more content from me, please hit subscribe. Catch you later.